Best-selling author Mia Redrick regularly meets with mothers to help them prioritize their busy lives.
So, one of the things that I found is that as a mom, we're no longer multitasking, we're megatasking.
Invite your friends. We've got a great scope planned for today.
Whatever we do for ourselves is what we are giving to our family.
Hey, Marcella. Good to see you, darling. Nicole is in the house.
So I always bring with me my jump rope as well as my resistance bands.
Hey there, good to see you.
In any day.
I need to keep this camera still.
I love the toolkit, Mia. How about dads? Can dads have one too?
Absolutely. Dads create the best toolkits. The deal is just be prepared for
guys, invite your friends on Periscope, on Twitter, on Facebook.
If you have ever said there are not enough hours in the day, you're going to love my next
Thank you so much, S. Jane Pro-Writer, for
blending is when
inviting
you are
your
doing
friends.
Something for your children.
Nicole is in the house. Hey, Nicole, good to see you.
For yourself. You guys, tell me, how are you already blending in your life? How are you taking care of yourself?
It's going to be a great scope. Super mommy and me. I love it.
She's a trainer who created a way in which we literally work out in her garage while our kids play outside. So we're getting me time, we're getting mommy time, and our kids are just having a good time.
We've had over 283 self-care groups, and I think the power
Thank you
of the
so
groups
much for
has
sharing,
been
guys.
that
Invite your
moms
friends.
have no judgment. Just
anyone you know that will benefit from
you
a
have an
coach,
opportunity
a speaker,
to
a
connect
trainer.
with other
Hey,
women
Nicole,
in
good
your
to see you.
demographics of
Hey,
motherhood.
Nicole, there are
I
two
firmly believe
Nicoles
that
in the
moms aren't
house.
necessarily looking
Hey, guys,
to
good to see you
balance
guys.
their work and their life. I think what we want more of is joy. Creating opportunities to experience joy on a daily basis in your life is the goal. The next time you and your family need a
Thank you
getaway,
for inviting your
try
friends,
a
guys.
staycation. What I mean by that is explore in your hometown, play a tourist. This might be exactly what your family needs to refuel and reconnect, even in the middle of your busy lives. Remember, when mama's happy, everyone else is happy.
Now, when most people think of dating, they think of being single, going out in the town, but when you're married with
Thank
kids,
you for the hearts, guys. I
that's when the
appreciate it.
real
We're going to
dating
get started
should
in
begin.
about
Sure
2
is.
minutes.
Well, our mom strategist explains why and shares her rules of family dating.
This is something you've probably not thought about, but it's worked
Thank you
really
so much
great
for
me,
sharing, guys.
And it is dating your family. And because you have 6 children, one of the things that works terrific is to be able to date at home. And what I get a lot of my clients to do is to create a dating box. And in that box, you and your husband can put things that you want to enjoy together. Because sometimes we have opportunities to date our partners, but we don't have a whole lot of time. It might be you have 90 minutes, but by the time he has to go and get the movie or get a meal, the time that you would have spent together is gone.
Thank you, Mia. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Wow, wow. Well, welcome the author of Time for Mommy, 365 Daily Strategies for Mother's Self-Care, Mia Redrick. Mia, thank you so much. Stand up, please. Pleasure, pleasure. I really feel for this family.
You did help them with some tips, but what can we all take away from this?
Well, Dear Time is such a simple way to build quality in
Sumbanati is in the house. Sumbanati is in the house. Good to see ya.
So drop everything and read.
Drop everything and read.
We're going to get started in about 30 seconds, guys. Last chance to invite your friends, your Twitter followers, your Facebook
But what
followers.
about the fact that she has no time to herself? She sits in her car and listens to the radio and lies to her husband about where she is, just so she can have a moment to breathe.
So what we talked about was them giving one another permission without guilt and supporting that time and understanding you need that when you have 2 young children. They're
Sure
a couple
do.
that wants to be together. They don't want to be apart. And so you can see that when they start
you guys
to
hear?
date, just to dance together, they reconnect immediately.
I saw you covering your ears when that was happening. Why?
It's emotional.
Yes, it is. Because I love my husband and we all forget why we got married.
All right, here are my people. Here are my people. That's why I do what I do. Flip the camera.
Moms tend to put their families first.
Let me cut this off. Hey guys, it's Mia Redrick here, the mom strategist. Can you see? Can you guys see? Is it clear? Or maybe my glasses aren't clear. It's Mia Redrick here, the mom strategist. I'm so excited tonight to give you guys, to bring this tonight, this topic of, why do you really need a life coach anyway? For those of you who are new to my scopes, good to see you. Nice to virtually meet you. I'm Mia Redrick. I am the mom strategist. I support mostly moms with life and business success. You can always check me out on my website at miaredrick.com or my past scopes at KATCH.me. And it's just Mia_Redrick, and you can find over 100 scopes there. Now, what I love to talk about is life and business success for moms. I've coached over 400 clients. 112 of my clients are authors, and half of them are #1 Amazon bestsellers. But tonight, I'm going to be talking about, how do you, what is the reason to work with a life coach? Maybe you've thought about working with a business coach and you can't figure out, should you, what should you be evaluating? And that's what I'm going to talk about tonight. Before I get started, let's cover some ground rules, okay? So I'm going to bring a great and amazing content always, okay? And I'm going to ask you guys, I know you want to take notes on the scope. I want you to write, and then tap, tap, tap. I want you to write, and tap, 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 okay? Now, the hearts allow other people to know that the content is amazing, and we want to support more people with great and amazing content, okay? So, deal? Okay, somebody say deal, all right? So, write, and tap, tap, tap. So, let me share my story with you guys. I'm Mia Redrick. I'm the mom strategist for those of you who are joining me from the web. Deal. Thank you. Deal. Good. Fist bump, right? Boom. Okay. And I got started in business about 13 years ago. This is my story. And 13 years ago, I had an idea to combine my background, my corporate background as a trainer, and my love of motherhood into a business. Now, I had one challenge. I didn't know exactly how to turn it into a business. So I visited my small business resource center in my neighborhood, really in my town in Maryland, and I was told that what I wanted to do would never be a business. Like, I could never do what I'm currently doing, what I've been doing for the last 13 years professionally, that I could never turn this into a business at all, and that I should go back to work and as a trainer or start a training company. That's what I was told. And I ended up bumping into this world of coaching, life coaching, business coaching. I met at the time online. I was Googling online. I ended up meeting this woman called Terry Levine. Her name's Terry Levine. She was the second highest paid business coach in the country at that time. And she told me that she could support me with taking my love of motherhood and my background as a corporate trainer and putting it into a business. Now, here's the thing. She kept her promise, all right? And so for the last 10 years, I've been a full-time entrepreneur. My husband is also. He and I also own a commercial laundry. And I tell you this because my come from is that freedom isn't free, right? And like, I've invested in myself over the years to be able to be a full-time entrepreneur, to be there for my kids, to be there for my husband when he needed me. My husband was on dialysis for 5 years. Hey, darling, good to see you. My husband was on dialysis for 5 years, and we were blessed that he got a kidney transplant in March of last year, and it changed our lives. And I know that so many of you guys, good to see you, I know so many of you will benefit from, what entrepreneurship can do for you. Like, whether it is that maybe you want to pay for private school for your kids, or maybe it's that you want to, pay for a private physician. That's what we did for my husband during the time he was on dialysis so he could get great medical care. Maybe it's that you want to travel and you want to do more vacations, with your family. I don't know why you want to be an entrepreneur, but I do know that for me, being an entrepreneur has created options. And what I love about being an entrepreneur is owning my time. I love that, right? Hey there, Tara. Good to see you. Thank you for your transparency. It's super inspiring, especially for me. I'm just going to tell you guys because that's what really, that made a big difference for us. And I have to say that it was so impactful for us when Pat had his surgery, because we could focus on what was most important, which was his healing, right? Nothing else. We didn't have to think about going back to work. There was nothing that was conflicting with that. We could be there. And I know that that will benefit so many of you. Now, tonight, I'm going to ask you to be a good friend. If you haven't already invited other people to come on the scope, let's pack it out, guys. I'm going to bring you guys great and amazing content tonight. We're going to be talking about tonight the reasons why you need to work with a coach. Now, that's a pretty bold statement, right? The reasons why you need to work with a coach. And the reason that I thought that this would be thank you so much for sharing, this would be a great scopable, right, topic, is because your advice is already benefiting my life. Awesome, Tara. And Tara, I just loaded the video in the Moms Academy. Donna just sent me a note, and we just sent you a note letting you know that that video is there so you can see from our coaching call the other night, okay? But the reason why you need to work with a coach, right, is because it changed my life. So that's my come from. I'm not going to try and sell you on coaching. I'm just going to explain to you, for me, what coaching did for me. You watched the scope last week. It was excellent. There's so many. They're like over 100 there, and I really just try to give you guys great and amazing content. And I'm going to tell you why I do the scopes that I do, and I keep them public. Because I'm thinking you're probably like me. When I first got started in business, I had never met a coach. Right? I didn't know a coach. I didn't even know people were hiring the coaches to help them with life and business success. I never heard of it. Right? So I didn't know anyone that was coaching anyone. I didn't know. It was all new for me. And I figure if I leave those scopes there on catch, you'll have an opportunity to connect with me, get a sense of what coaching is, what I talk about, what I teach my clients, and you'll be able to make an informed decision if you're ever in a position to work with a coach or you ever need to. You'll have some connection. I didn't know anyone, okay? But it changed my life, okay? If you guys are ready for me to get started, say, I'm ready, Mia. I'm ready. If you guys type that here, I'll get started with number 1. Today, we're going to be talking about the reasons why you need to work with a coach, okay? The reasons why you need to work with a coach. Now, the number 1 reason, and these are not in any order, but the number 1 reason why you need to work with a coach is for accountability, okay? It's accountability. Now, so think about yourself, right? We're all great. We're all amazing. We're all talented. We all are brilliant beyond measure. And most often, we're more brilliant than we give ourselves credit for. I love it, guys, right? We're brilliant and more brilliant than we give ourselves credit. But we have to have accountability sometimes around the things that we want to accomplish, because we will hide when things get hard. We will hide when life interrupts us. And we will just ignore the things that we know we can do, but we won't do. So what coaching has done for me over the years has provided me the accountability that I needed for my own dream. And I couldn't do that myself. As much as I'd like to believe that I could hold myself accountable to some of the big things, wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't do it. And, and the fact of the matter is, one of the things that I have learned over the years is that my friends couldn't do it for me either. And what I mean by that is sometimes you're surrounded by great people who love you, and maybe you're successful in your own right, and your friends look at you and they think you're doing all right. But there's more. There's more that you can do that's in alignment with your goals. It's okay to can't hide with a coach or accountability partners. You cannot hide. And I think that's one of the biggest benefits, one of the biggest reasons why you need to work with a coach, is so that they can hold a place for you based on what you say you want to get accomplished, and you can be accountable to someone that has a vested interest in your success. See, your friends don't have a vested interest in your success. Sometimes your spouse doesn't have a vested interest in your success. Your spouse might want you to be successful, but Pat didn't marry me to hold me accountable to writing a book, okay? That's not why he married me. And I think so often people in marriages or in relationships, in their friendships, they want their friends to do for them things that the relationships never called for to begin with. You need to get a coach that can hold you accountable to your dreams, someone that you're paying to make you do the things that you can do and that you want to do, and someone that calls you out on your stuff. I'll give you a great example, great example. About, I think it was like 4 weeks ago, maybe it was 5 weeks ago, I saw my coach, and it was so funny because I wasn't going to do Periscope. I wasn't going to do Periscope. I said, I don't want to do Periscope. I said, it's too much visibility. I don't want to be on there every day. This, it's like saturated and in terms of just talking all the time. And she's like, why would you not do video? You're really great on it. And I was like, I don't want to do it. She said, why don't you just try it? And then I've tried it, and I really like it. And I've built my following. I've grown my list. I've sold coaching products. And here it is. in my mind, I had made up a story based on convenience. If I didn't have a coach that held me accountable, come on, I wouldn't have done it. I would have talked myself right out of it. Somebody say, I'm with you, Mia. See, this is what we do, right? This is what we do. A coach will be objective and impartial, which is important. You've been an addict since, right. I do 2 scopes a day, usually 1 in the morning and 1 at night, right? And it's been a really great tool for my business. I love So I love social media, and I love it when it converts. And this platform has flat been converting, so it makes sense to be here. But I wasn't going to be here because I had a story in my mind about convenience. And so what you've got to understand is the reason you've got to have a coach is because that coach is going to hold you accountable, and they're going to see what your strengths are, and they're going to also hear you when you're talking your crap, when you're talking yourself out of the things that you can do, that you should do, that will create results for you, but you just don't feel like it, because we all have it. We all do it, and it doesn't matter where we are in our lives, because I mean, I'm pretty goal oriented in terms of setting the bar and reaching the goals, but sometimes I can make a great justification for not doing the things that I need to do. I thank God for you, though the wisdom and knowledge you have is impeccable. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. If you guys don't mind resetting and coming back, right? So you're going to write, and you're going to tap. Now the hearts aren't for me. That's so that other people out there need to know that these are quality scopes and they can check it out. And maybe it'll support them in their own life, right? Maybe they want to get free. Like maybe, okay? All right, number two is you can't see your own blind spots. So the number 2 reason for working with a coach, like the reason why, is because you can't see your own blind spots. And a lot of times we're trying to coach ourselves. It doesn't work. So if that's you, I'm telling you, it doesn't work. You can't see the blind spots. But when someone else is able to look at you and see what you're trying to accomplish, they can help you overcome some of the things that you are missing, that you are avoiding. That's, to me, one of the greatest benefits of working with a coach. I remember I hired a speaking coach at one point. Well, I had several, but I hired a speaking coach at one point, and I just couldn't figure out why I couldn't find my speaking groove. And what we realized was that I didn't realize it, but what she realized from watching me was whenever I tried to be a motivational speaker, I couldn't remember what I had to say. But when I decided just to be myself and share my stories, it was a more authentic way for me to show up. Now, I couldn't have figured that out on my own. It was a blind spot. And me hiring someone else that could look at me objectively, that could see what my strengths were, that could see what my blocks were, that could help me come up with a formula for me to create success, that is the benefit. And a lot of us, we struggle around this because we don't want to make the investment in ourselves because we want a guarantee. But I'm going to tell you a lot of the results that I've gotten as a result of working with many different teachers, coaches, and mentors, there's been no guarantee. I signed up because I knew I needed to do the self-work. And I understand that self-work is a journey, right? And if you want to get to the other side, you got to understand you're not going to be the same person. You got to invest in people who can help get you to the result that you want. All right. I'm Mia Redrick. I'm the mom strategist, and I support mostly moms with life and business success. You guys know you can always check me out at miaredrick.com. On this broadcast, we're talking today about the reasons why you need to work with a coach. And I'll just recap quickly. Number 1, for accountability, it goes without saying. You guys are not hardening it up. I can't believe it. You go accountability. So accountability, you need to have someone that knows what it is that you want to accomplish, and they hold you to that in a consistent way. Number 2, I've had tons of coaches. Number 2, you can't see your own blind spots. And let me tell you about that, Nicole. Over the years, as I've grown, I've had branding coaches, speaking coaches, life coaches, business coaches, personal development coaches, and all of it is so that I can show up more powerfully. I think what happens is the more you grow, the more you start to value that level of self-investment, and you start to seek other teachers that can teach you how to sell. I've had sales coaches. I've had tons of different types of coaches to help me show up more powerfully in my life and in my business and in my marriage, because my work is I coach other people. So Who wants to work with a coach that doesn't work with coaches? Anyone? Anyone? No, you don't. Okay, so at the end of the day, it's about understanding that you can't see your own blind spots, and working with other people, learning new strategies, learning new methods to help you get from point A to point B quicker is just the best way that I've ever seen in my life. And I'll tell you, one of the most significant things for me has been that my very first coach, Terry Levine, was a full-time entrepreneur. She owned her time. She would pick up in December, January, and February whenever it got cold and run her business from Mexico. She's the only entrepreneur I've ever met that could do that. Had the flexibility in her business to be able to pick her business up and move to another country and run it. And you know what she taught me how to do? She taught me how to be free. And I always think about that you live, however your coach is making their money, if they make it via a passive strategy, that's what they're going to teach you. She never taught me how to build my business based on my ability to perform. Mostly, I've made most of my money, built my business from the comfort of my home. And it's so cool to understand that. I always think about it this way, like a lot of the things that I've learned from her, no one has ever taught me. I see so many people who do what I do, and in order for them to run their business, they have to run from one speaking engagement to the next speaking engagement. And that's not how I built my business. I grow my business primarily from the comfort of my home, okay? I've done very little traveling except with private clients who I work with, but the vast majority of my business, I have passive strategies to be able to do that. And that's pretty cool. And I would not have been able to do that had I not invested with someone who was living that way already. See, we want the secret, but we don't want to write the check to find the secret. We want someone to tell us on a quick telephone conversation. And it doesn't work like that. You've got to invest in the solution that you seek. You got to invest in the solution that you seek, okay? Number 3, okay, there are brown hearts. Thank you so much. Number 3 is the reason you need to work with a coach is because you need to set the bar of what you can accomplish higher. What you got to understand is that sometimes when you set a goal for yourself, sometimes we set a goal based on what we believe we can obtain. But whenever I'm working with my coach, they challenge me based on what they can see I can accomplish. And that's always been really just great for me each and every year. I mean, last year, I'll never forget it. 2015 was my best year in my business. Sales up 42% in my business. Why? Because of the people I was coaching with. They challenged me around my profits and my systems. They made me look at my numbers. We had to talk about those numbers all the time. They gave me ideas on different ways to monetize passively from my home, how to position myself with brands, how to make sure my contracts were more profitable. We began to have different conversations. What they did for me was they raised the bar of expectation. They also raised the bar of conversation. So one of the reasons that you need to work with a coach is because you need to have an elevated conversation that you're not currently having. Maybe it's around a solution on maybe getting a team for your business. Maybe you're the person doing everything in your business, right? Like sending the emails, doing the websites, doing everything, right? Maybe it's that you need to figure out how to get in front of a brand, or maybe you need to figure out how to pitch to the media, or maybe you're trying to position yourself as an expert. You've got to get around coaches and teachers and trainers who've already done those things that can show you a formula that they have used to do that. See, if you know what they know, you can do what they do. And a lot of us are trying to do Google searches, right, to figure it out, when you need to be consulting with someone that can show you exactly what you need to do in order for you to get greater results. And I always say, listen, when I'm coaching clients, I can't guarantee your results because I don't know how you implement. See, we have a lot of people out there who want to work with coaches, but they're not implementers. They're whiners, right? They don't implement. You tell them what to do. They want someone else to do it for them. And if you don't do it for them, then they say it doesn't work. Life doesn't work like that. When I look at the growth that has happened in my business, it's because I have a hunger for implementation. When I learn how to do it, I do it, right? I don't make excuses about what not not doing it? You know, what good is great information if you don't apply it? So what you've got to understand is when you're working with a coach, they're going to set a bar for you. They're going to call you out on your stuff. They're going to help you understand sometimes what is in the way. Young Mommy Fab has just joined us. Good to see you. Nice to virtually meet you. I'm Mia Redrick. I'm the mom strategist. And today we're talking about the reasons why you need to work with a coach. And I'm just breaking it down. Hey, good to see you. I'm just breaking it down because coaching changed my life. And I know that it will change your life too, but it's a mental shift because if you haven't worked with a coach, it's easy to be confused about it. Carol Hunter is in the house. Hey, Carol, good to see you. Fist bump. Boom. Carol is one of my Core Mom coaching clients. I absolutely adore her. She is the money mender, guys. And if your money is funny, and you're trying to find financial systems, learn better how to handle your money, you guys need to check her out. Heart it up, guys, okay? I'm going to ask you guys to reset. If you need to go out and come back, do that. But remember, we write on the scope, right? And we tap. We write, and we tap. Now, I attract amazing people who are sharp, they're smart, right? They believe in self-investment, and they are go-givers, right? So we're going to pay it forward, all right, with hearts, all right? Thank you so much, guys. All right. Let me grab my notes once again. All right, so today we've been talking about the reasons why you need to work with a coach, okay? Accountability. You can't see your own blind spots. Okay, and they're going to set that bar high for you. They're going to help you understand that if your prices are low, they need to be higher. And they're going to challenge you on that. They're going to call you out on your stuff so that you can create the change and the results that you want, all right? All right, next is to position yourself for collaboration, referrals, and affiliates. So what I mean by that, one of the greatest reasons to work with a coach is for collaboration. You know, if you are ever in relationship with people who are at a higher level, meaning in your industry, in your work, you have an opportunity, their network can become your network. That's one of the things that I've learned that's so cool. Like to be able to stand on the shoulders of my teachers, to be able to sell in their community, to be able to to collaborate on their stage is a tremendous opportunity. And let's be clear that there are times when, I've worked with people who have done television that have had the opportunity to introduce me to some other people who've done television. I've mentored with several, popular television personalities, and they've had an opportunity to open doors for me. When you work with a coach, a speaker, a trainer, a teacher, a trainer, they have the opportunity to introduce you to higher level connections. And that is something you pay for. It's a mind shift. It's a mentality that we have that you say, hey, I want that. And you understand that you're willing to make that investment so that you can meet people at a high level. And therefore, you begin to create a different wave within your business. It's so interesting to me when I look at as a result of coaching, some of the people I've had the opportunity to meet. Several are tremendously great friends of mine today. Some of my mastermind partners, accountability partners. These women have made, I also coach clients who write their books without picking up a pen. And those are my Big Rock products, $15,000 and $22,000 a year. I have had several of these people from my coaching community who have made referrals to me as affiliate partners. And you know what? It's been win-win. Like they referred clients for my big ticket items. I didn't know these people. I wouldn't have known them had I not made an investment at a higher level community. Somebody hear me on this, because a lot of times we aren't where we want to be, not because you can't be there. It's because you're not willing to make the investment to get in front of and build higher level relationships that allow you to collaborate. Does this make sense? Does it make sense? Okay. That'll allow you to do affiliate partnerships, right? That'll allow you to be networking with people your ambition level and above. See, sometimes we're trying to network with people who are not our ambition level, who can do nothing for you, who can't make introductions that are valuable connections for you that can change the course of your business. To me, that's one of the reasons to work with a coach. A lot of coaches have great networks, high-level networks. They can introduce you to people, tools, resources that can change the face and course of your business overnight. Okay. All right. Okay. Next is to get results. Okay. So another great reason to work with a coach is to get results. So yes, that has been my big issue. Yeah. Yes. So a lot of times if you don't make the investments, then your network is not your ambition level. And as a result of that, you don't always get the support you need at your level. Okay. And that's one of the greatest reasons to work with a coach. Another reason is to get results. Of course, one of the reasons that you work with a coach is to get results. And to get results, that's what it's about, to be able to quantify whatever it is that you want to get it done. You want to be able to speak about whatever it is, be committed in a community about what it is, and be held accountable to your goals. And you want to get results. You want to start to see the wheels change in your life and your business. And I have to be honest about getting results. I think a lot of times what we track when we're working with a coach are monetary results, and they're definitely important. But I also have to say that there's the result of personal development, which I think is equally important. See, sometimes you have to grow on the inside most often, right, before you see the growth sometimes on the outside. So sometimes we have to heal who we are, right, because maybe you're afraid of selling, or maybe you need to learn to set boundaries. And because you haven't set boundaries in your life, it translates in your sales process. Or maybe, you got to deal with what's draining you in your life so that you can get clear about your passion and your purpose. So personal development, to me, is a result also, because when we get clear on the life side, on the business side, things start to work and flow a lot more easily. But working with a coach can do both of those things. Not only support you in your monetary goals, right, in your business, or setting up your systems in your business, but also in your life. And that, to me, has been a tremendous resource for me over the years to be able to have both life and business success. So if you're into that, you're going to love coaching. The next thing is to learn improved systems to get things done. And that goes without saying. Like, most coaches have some level of systems or methodologies that they use, formulas that they have. It could be their own life formulas. It could be things that they've studied over the years that they have learned through trial and error to create success in their own business. And they share those with you. And I think that that's like the coolest thing. I think one of the most powerful systems that I learned, like, to go deep in, was how to outsource. And I learned how to outsource from one of my coaches. And then I ended up studying from these other guys how to go deeper with how to outsource. And now I know how to outsource any single thing in my business and pay a fraction of the cost. I mean, I can get almost anything done for $40 in 24 hours. I get 40 hours of work for my team for $100 a week. Like, really high quality work. And most people don't know how to do that. I learned that. I actually paid someone to teach me how to outsource, and then I paid some other guys to show me how to take it even deeper. See, a lot of times when you are investing at a high level in coaching, you're going to see not only the results in your business in terms of on the monetary side, but you're also going to see it on the savings because of what you know. Like, you'll be able to create different kind of transactions because you'll know how to do things at a high level. And it doesn't take a lot of money to do it. It takes expertise. It takes knowledge, right? It takes connections to be able to do that. And coaching, for me, has allowed me the opportunity to do that. Okay? All right. And then lastly, right. Okay. And to learn how to, and to learn the how to, right? So I think one of the reasons that you work with a coach is to learn the how to. So if there's something that you are trying to figure out in your business, how to sell, how to brand yourself, how to position yourself as an expert, whatever it is, how to monetize your gifts, how to set the prices for your products, how to package your products, you hire a coach to teach you the how to. Now, I don't believe you should hire a coach to teach you the what, because I think anyone can teach you the what. All right, you can pick up a manual, you can pick up a book and read the what. The how to is the person is breaking down for you how they have accomplished whatever the result is that you want, okay? And they should have proof that they have done it, okay? So in my coaching practice, I teach my clients through my Core Moms coaching program, how to position themselves as an expert, how to brand, how to create product, how to monetize products, how to sell without selling, how to build their own team, virtual team for a fraction of the cost. I showed them how to set up and use social media as a marketing tool, etc. All of the things that I teach them are things that I have done. I showed them how to pitch and get media. I showed them how to pitch and work with Fortune 100 and 500 brands. All of the things that I've taught them and that I teach them currently are things that I've done. And I have proof. I can show them reels. I can show them collaborations and partnerships in real time so that they can see that it is real. And I think that that's so important when you're hiring a coach, that they can show you whatever it is that they've said they've done. They should be able to show you proof that they actually did do that, okay? And if not, then they're not your coach, okay? They're not your teacher. And I think a lot of times that's important because we don't always do our due diligence, because sometimes we get caught up with personality. Like you see someone maybe at a live event and they're phenomenal, or maybe you see a nice video clip of them that's edited 100 times, and you get engrossed in the story, and you never have the opportunity to really pull back the curtain for yourself to make sure that it's a match. But I think that's important. And when I think about the results that I've gotten with my coaches, I've always had the opportunity to speak with them, to connect with them, and to, get a sense that they were the right person for me. So that's one of the reasons that I've left there for you guys the catch video, so that you can see, you get a sense of what I talk about, how I teach, etc. So you can always see if it works for you, okay? So today I've been talking about the reasons why you need to work with a coach. The reasons why you need to work with a coach, I'm just going to briefly recap. One is accountability. 2 is you can't see your own blind spots, right? You can't see them. Okay, 3 is you need to set the bar high where you can accomplish them, not low, okay, where you can reach it. 4 is to position yourself for higher level collaborations, affiliates, and referrals. If you're working with a coach at a high level, they've got bigger connections that they can introduce you to people that you don't already know, okay, and those connections can change your life. And I found that for me, I've been willing to invest in those relationships. I have always said, you know what, I appreciate any referral that my coach makes. If I'm ever in my coaching community, I'm never trying to take from the community. I'm always trying to add value in that community, understanding the long-term benefit of the relationships. And you got to get that. Next is to get results. You coach with a coach because you want results in a certain area, okay? And the fact of the matter is, but getting results and doing the heavy lifting, they are best friends. And a lot of times people want to work with a coach, but they don't want to do the heavy lifting, right, themselves to get the results. And if that's you, maybe right now you're not coachable, maybe you're not teachable, okay? But there are tons of done-for-you services, and done-for-you services are great. I offer one in my book coaching program, and it is that literally we will my ghostwriting team will write your book without you picking up a pen. Good to see you. Without you picking up a pen, it's a done-for-you service. So it's for a client that is busy, that doesn't want to have to sit down to write their book, but wants alternate methods to be able to do it. Totally great service. Tons of done-for-you services and products out there for you. So you just need to know that about yourself. The next is reason you would work with a coach is to learn improved systems to get things done. You're trying to learn their methods. You're not trying to get your coach to change their methods to accommodate you. You're going to learn their methods. And when you learn their methods, hey, darling, good to see you, Janine. When you learn their methods, it's the shortcut. And I meet people all the time that their coach is telling them whatever they want, what they need to do to get results. And they're like, but you know what? You can just butt your way out of it, because at the end of the day, when I think about it with my coach and my coaches over the years, doesn't matter what I know. I'm trying to learn how they're doing it. I'm trying to figure out, how are you free? Okay? I want to learn from you. So it's not about what I know. I take my ego, I suppress my ego, and I understand that I've hired this person for their advice. And if you have a hard time taking the advice of other people, then coaching isn't the right thing. It's not an ego thing. It's that your coach is giving you what they know, right, as information so that you can create results in your life and business. But you've got to be comfortable enough, secure enough that you can receive what they're saying to you, and that you're willing to run the plays that you guys collaborate on together to help you get the results that you've said you wanted. I mean, I see it as a win-win relationship when the coach, when a coach is helping you get your goal and then you are open to that. But when you're closed to it, it doesn't work, okay? And next is, and I did want to say this, that, if you're, one of the reasons not to work with a coach is if you're not teachable, if you're not coachable, if you're negative, if you like to gossip. It's just not right, okay? You need to go and do some personal development work, because coaching really is for people who are ready to go to that next level, who are looking for change, who believe in personal growth, who want to see the good in others, who are ready to take all of their energy and their time to create something amazing, and they understand that you can't do that while you're focusing on what will not work, okay? So I just want to say that as well. Do you guys have any questions for me? Do you have any questions for me? I wanted to shoot you guys straight on this, right? On the reasons why you need to work with a coach. Are there any questions for me on the reasons why you need to work with a coach? Because I wanted to break it down. Or also, maybe you have questions about, maybe you thought about working with a coach before and you just have questions about, how do you choose a coach? Or, maybe you have questions for me about coaching in general. The floor is open. I'm going to open the floor up for your questions. I know it might take you guys 10 seconds or 15 seconds to type in your response, okay? For those of you who are watching me from the computer, from home, hey there, good to see you. I'm Mia Redrick. I'm the mom strategist. So you are saying it's only for personally developed individuals. Yes, how do you choose a coach? Should the coach be in the same industry? Okay, these are great. I might forget some of these, okay? I'm going to try not to. No, I'm saying that before you're going to work with a coach, we're all growing in as it relates to personal growth. But I do think that there are personality types that do better with coaching and than others, right? And I think people who I've noticed that do better with coaching than others, they're coachable, they're teachable, they're not your yeah but people, they aren't negative people, they're looking for solutions and outcomes, they believe the best in themselves, or at least they want to find the best in themselves, and therefore they believe the best in other people. They see that's the intention. And I think that anything other than that, it's usually just not a good dynamic, as I have seen. And, you just need to do more personal growth work. So I just one of the things in terms of supporting people around, saving their money. The clients that I get to work with who are smart, they're sharp, they believe in self-investment. You know what? They believe in paying their bills on time, to the coach, because they see that it's an investment. Like, they don't see coaching as like something extra. They see it as a requirement in their lives. Those are the people that get results. They're hungry for investment and creating an ROI, and they understand that personal development and business development is something that you have to sow seeds for. And they also understand they have to do the heavy lifting. Sometimes people think that just because they wrote a check to do, to work with you, that means that it's going to create the results. That's not how it works. You have to do the work. Like, you actually can't say that your job got in the way, okay? I mean, you know what I mean? You got to figure out the how to get it done. We all have things that are going on. I know over the years, my husband was on dialysis. I'm still working with coaches. I'm still accountable to my dream. I still got to get these things done, checked off my list. I can't make my coach wrong because I didn't do my homework, And so the question is, who are the best people to sign up with a coach? I think are people who are ready for change, but not change just verbally, but they're ready for a change of mind, and they've got a change of heart, and they're ready to go do the dang thing. Those are the people I like to work with. And anything other than that, I don't enjoy, it's just not enjoyable, and I end up releasing those clients. Okay, the next question was, I can't remember. How do you choose your coach? I think it was, how do you choose your coach? So I think one of the things that I like to look, should the coach be in the same industry as yours? Okay. All right. Should the coach be in the same industry as yours? Okay. They don't have to be. I have coaches, they are not in the same industry as mine. I have coaches who are sales coaches. They don't do mom coaching. The woman that I hired from the very beginning didn't even have kids, all right? But what she did have was a very successful, profitable business that was automated, that was built on her ability, was not built on her ability to perform, that had a passive income strategy, and that's what she taught me how to do. So I don't believe your coach has to be from the same industry, although at times it can be beneficial. I've coached several moms who are mom coaches, who are family coaches, who are parent coaches, who are relationship coaches, and what they like is because I've worked in the same field that I can give them some advice and resources and tips and strategies and formulas based on what I know how to do, and it's a great fit for them. But it's not a necessity. I work with people with a lot of different backgrounds as well, that completely different than me. They're just looking for formulas on how to brand or position themselves as experts, how to take their book and get out there, how to take their message and break it down, repurpose it in a lot of other ways, to be able to monetize, by selling their content in a lot of different ways. So I think I answered your question. If not, let me know. What about people who sell retail? Okay. So I own a commercial business, Nicole, and I also own a commercial laundry. So I don't know if you know this. Mine was How to Choose Your Coach. Okay, I got you. I own a commercial laundry also, my husband and I. And so I have several business owners who are service-based businesses as well. I have several clients who do retail as well. In fact, one of my book coaching clients owns a cellular retail company as well. So it doesn't matter. So it just depends on what the goal is as to how you're choosing your coach. Whatever your goal is, you want to make sure you choose a coach that has done the thing that you want to do. That's the most important thing. So if you want to get more media, it doesn't matter that your business is a retail business, because if that's the outcome that you're looking for, the coach that you want to work with, if they've done that, then they're a good coach for you. They can show you how to position yourself. And I think that typically that is what I always look for. Whenever I'm looking for a coach, I always look for the outcome that they have, which is aligned with what I want. And I'm looking for the shortest distance between 2 points, and that's why I'm investing in the relationship, so that I can learn what they know, okay? And it doesn't have to be exactly the same. And in fact, I look now at my accountability community. 3 of these women, we do completely different things. One does marketing, one does sales, one does financial management, and I'm the mom coach, okay? And we're completely different, but we have what each other needs. So you need to make sure that the people that you're investing in, they have what you need, okay? And they can show you that. And then how do you choose a coach? I choose a coach based on what result I want to, what's the result that I want. So if I want to learn to sell more, then I'm going to hire a sales coach. And then that sells differently than me. And I want them to be able to break down for me their how-to, their formula on how I can sell better. So if that's what I'm looking for. If I want a marketing coach, then I'm going to hire someone that has a background in marketing. They're probably not going to do what I'm going to be doing in the mom space. I've never hired a mom coach, actually. I've only hired people who had skills that I did not have to help me go deeper. Short of my first coach who showed me how to set up my own coaching program, I've never hired a coach, to help me actually build out the foundation of my business, right? So I think I answered your question. So if I didn't answer your question, just write a backup response. Are there any other questions for me? And I think these forms are good, because if you're like me, you hadn't met a coach. I never met a coach, okay? I didn't know a coach. I never met a coach. I didn't know what a coach could do for me. Trust me, Mia is the best coach I've ever had. You've ever had. You're awesome. Thank you so much for putting that there, Carol. You guys need to follow her. She is the money mender, okay? And if you're trying to get your finances straight this year, she's your girl. Like, you need to totally check her out. She's got great program coming up. Carol, I don't even know, when is the program? Okay, I am Carol. I believe you, yeah. No, I just try to teach from, I just teach from what I've done. Okay. And what's really cool, I think, about my method of coaching is literally how I've built my own life brand from scratch. Because literally mom and coaching didn't go together 13 years ago. Nobody knew what I was going to be doing. And to be able to build a brand from really nothing, from an idea, and to be able to get as much media as I've been able to do, be signed to and paid talent on an Emmy-nominated and nationally syndicated show, to work with corporate brands like Panera Bread and Great Harvest Bread Company, etc., 5, 6 other national brands. And, you know, it's pretty cool, like to be able to leverage your idea to write 4 books and become a #1 Amazon bestseller in all the categories and help so many clients, over 400. So I'm only saying that not to impress you, because the hearts went away, but to impress upon you that it was a self-made brand. How many times a month should you be working with your coach? It just depends on the program. So some coaches will meet with you one-to-one. You know, you might even, like when I first signed with my coach, she was $1,000 an hour and I didn't have $1,000. So I asked her, what could I get for 10 minutes of her time? And she said $100 for 10 minutes. And I signed an 18-month contract. Okay, Carol's class is 1-day class. It's January 19th.